Right, guys. How does Anthony Joshua go about defeating Daniel Dubois? It's going to be an interesting fight. Be sure to like my video, share my video, drop your comments in the comment section below. I will be checking those out once those start to come in place there. So, Anthony Joshua, how does he beat Daniel Dubois? It's going to be very interesting to see the type of game plan they do come out with. I feel like the game plan that will come through will be taking advantage of the mistakes that Daniel Dubois does tend to make. For example, maybe not the head movement not being there, the right hand being there for available for AJ, just like it was there for Hergovic, and just like it was there for Jerome Miller to some extent as well. It was a bit slower with the hands, but he was able to still land quite early on in the fight. So those are definitely going to be things that Anthony Joshua is going to be looking to capitalize on. And if anyone's going to be able to do that, it's Anthony Joshua. Fast right hands down the middle, combination punching left and right, uppercut is that like he's got the tools and the arsenal to really capitalize on to him from Dubois' lack of head movement sometimes, and sometimes it can be the youth of Daniel Dubois as well, which is a benefit to Dubois because he's got a lot of energy and he's got a lot of adrenaline to try and get his work off, but at the same time the lack of experience as well, allowing Anthony Joshua to capitalize on that. Maybe times when Dubois is not in range, or he's in range enough to really get his work off, and then he's trying to throw certain shots. He's open for Anthony Joshua to close the distance there and maybe let off a hook, or let off his own right hand. So these are things that Anthony Joshua is going to be taking advantage of in place there. And I feel like that is going to be the basis for Anthony Joshua actually winning the fight if it's by stoppage in place there. If the fight actually does go longer, which I don't actually believe it will, I feel like Dubois will most likely be trying to throw the kitchen sink at Anthony Joshua, where again, if he comes through reckless abandon, again, as long as Anthony Joshua, is disciplined, he might most likely be able to take advantage of those mistakes that Daniel Dubois may be making if he starts to really gamble, to actually come after AJ there. So it's going to be interesting to see like what direction that sort of goes. I do think that if Anthony Joshua is disciplined and he doesn't make unnecessary mistakes, he doesn't turn the fight into an unnecessary war, I feel like it will be his fight to lose. But that's easier said than done. Daniel Dubois might readily just force him into a war because Dubois is acceptable of doing that. I can see Hergovic just trying to pot shot, land his right hand, step back, all that sort of thing. Dubois just took it to Hergovic and forced Hergovic to have to fight or flight. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna fight? Or are you gonna do what? That's sort of what Daniel Dubois forced onto Hergovic. So I think that is what Daniel Dubois is probably going to be looking to do with AJ, force AJ into the fight that he doesn't want, and that is when AJ is going to be potentially making those mistakes. That is when AJ needs to use the experience he had with Andrew Ruiz, where he hurt Andrew Ruiz, and then Ruiz got dropped. Ruiz got up and went to war, and then AJ tried to take him out, but he wasn't ready to be taken out. AJ got hurt himself. Experiences from that, experiences from when he fought the likes of Jermaine Franklin, where Jermaine Franklin was not a good name, but AJ didn't mind maybe beating him in a way where it wasn't that exciting, but he was able to still get the job done anyway in place there. So an example where he's not taking unnecessary risks. Again, he's shown find Otto Wallin. He's shown there that another element to his game that if he gets you hurt, he can get you out of there. So these are all the different facilities in Anthony Joshua's game he's going to have to bring to Dubois, and he's going to have to make adjustments on that basis. If he goes in there and falls into Dubois' sort of game plan where he's getting engaged in a war he doesn't need to be in, that's unfortunately where this is where Dubois, someone who's heavy-handed as Dubois is with a stiff jab like Dubois has, where Joshua's going to find himself potentially in a bit of trouble there. So let's see what happens, man. It's going to be interesting. It is fight week. It's going to be interesting to see what actually happens on the night. I do think that fight will end in a stoppage. I will make a follow-up video just on what I think was actually going to happen in the fight itself. But yeah, let's see what happens, man. What do you guys think about how Anthony Joshua should approach the fight? What do you think he should do? Do you think he'll actually beat Dubois? Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments. Cool.